Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and in this video I want to talk about iOS 26 public beta and if you should install that beta or the developer beta, or if you should install any beta. I wanted to primarily make this video to talk about iOS public betas or developer betas. Now, we are in the month of July. It is currently Tuesday, July 1st. And this is the month where we see iOS 26 public beta. Now, typically, you would go to the beta website and it will say public beta available. But right now it says coming soon. New public betas for all of the different softwares. iOS, iPadOS, all the new 26 named softwares. Now, let's talk about different bugs that we can expect or that can happen if you put betas on your main device. Firstly, developer betas. Those are the buggiest. Now, I am not running any betas. I'm currently on iOS 18.5. And the reason why I'm not on any betas, mainly iOS 26, is I don't have another device to put it on or a computer to downgrade if necessary. Because usually developer betas are extremely buggy. And the same can be said about public betas. They're more stable than developer betas, but they're still buggy or can be buggy. It usually starts with third-party apps such as YouTube, YouTube Studio, basically any app you have that is a third-party one crashing. Sometimes that could happen with Apple's apps as well. That's generally why when I make beta videos, I'm not running the beta, I'm just going through different screenshots of videos I watch of people running the beta. As apps can crash and lots of bugs can happen whilst running iOS betas. But if you do want to install the betas, it is generally recommended that you go to your settings and you go to your device. You want to then go to iCloud Backup. When you tap on your name at the top, tap on your device. You'll typically see an option here that says iCloud Backup. You can back up your device in iCloud Backup, and this will make sure that your device is backed up. So if the beta has problems, you can revert to a stable version of iOS. Maybe iOS 18.5. Now, what bugs can happen when you install a developer/public beta? Apps crashing is one of them, but that's not the only thing that can generally happen. Your iPhone can have freeze-ups and it can also respring, but the most severe thing of all is your iPhone bricking. That is when it's stuck in a boot loop and you are stuck on either the Apple logo or a booting screen. The only way to restore this is to make sure that you have an iCloud backup. Under settings, your name at the top, click on your device name, which is towards the very bottom, right before you get to sign out of your Apple ID, and you click on iCloud Backup. You back up your information to a Mac with Finder or a PC with iTunes, and you restore a backup. That's the only way to fix an issue such as an iPhone in a boot loop. Now, I don't have a computer, so unfortunately, I would not be able to show you this, but there are tons of videos on the internet that shows how to do this. So you want to make sure you back up your device. Now, Apple is constantly refining their betas, developer betas, so that app crashes, freeze-ups, and brickings won't happen. But public betas can also be buggy, but they're less buggier than developer betas. But the same bugs can still happen with app crashes, freeze-ups, and one thing I forgot to mention is battery life. Battery life can be terrible on the beta, which is another reason why I don't install it. As my iPhone 12 doesn't have a great battery, it already has a somewhat terrible battery. As I've had this phone for 3 years, I have 81% battery health. So the battery health is not the greatest on this one. And betas would only make that worse for you. So if you are going to install a beta, make sure you have a computer to downgrade. However, if you don't have a computer like me and just an iPad, then what I would recommend you do is, if you don't use that iPad for your main consumption, I use mine for video editing, so I'm not putting the beta on there either. But if you have another iPhone or iPad laying around, put the beta on that device instead. As I might be getting the iPhone 14, and I'll put the beta on my iPhone 12. However, if that doesn't happen, then you generally want to keep your device on a stable version. Like I made a video, for instance, on iOS 18.6. I did not install the beta, for if anyone thought I did via this screenshot. This is just something I got off of the internet. I wanted to put this on my community post to let my fans know that iOS 18.6 is out. As part of me wasn't really going to make a video on this update, as this is quite a boring update. There isn't really no new features, but it is a bug fix and improvement update to fix bugs that is in 18.5 or 18.6. Would I recommend installing that beta? Probably not. While it's far more stable than iOS 26, it's still a beta and some bugs can still happen. Although it's a more safer bet than iOS 26. Now, when can we expect the public beta? Well, today is July 1st, like I previously mentioned, and I would expect iOS 26 Beta 3 next week. And with that, we can see iOS 26 Beta 3. Then on July 14th, we can see the iOS public beta. iOS 26 public beta. And that's not the only thing we can see. We can also see iOS 26 Beta 3 re-release. Apple will release that update to match the build numbers for the developer and public betas. So developers will also get an update. It will be iOS 26 Beta 3 re-release and the public beta to match the build numbers. And I will go over how you can install that beta, backing up your iPhone. And I might also make a video on how to downgrade your iPhone. I won't actually be downgrading it as I'm not even on the beta, but I'll show you how to back up your iPhone, go over some of the different steps you can use to back up your iPhone so you can have a stable version of iOS and not lose any data. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys later.